Linus Ullmark trade reports have been intensifying over these past few days, and we now have a potential trade offer from the Ottawa Senators for Linus Ullmark. So I'm going to be breaking down this trade that we have here today and just going over the positives of what will come from this, because I'm telling you right now, this trade would be perfect for the Boston Bruins. So before we get into this trade here, we notice that 81% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news just like this, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit the sub button. Join me here in this offseason as we cover everything that this team is going to bring us and in a very exciting one ahead. So, like I said, let's not waste any more time and get right into this trade because this is amazing. The trade reports have been intensifying, as I said, and from recent reporters from the Ottawa Senators side of things, they've discussed the possibility of trading for Linus Ullmark as they had earlier this season. And this comes out from the Ottawa Sun, Bruce Gigarios. I believe that's how his name is pronounced. I apologize if it's not. The Senators are already planning to re-engage in the pursuit of the Swedish netminder ahead of the NHL draft. Ullmark has a no-trade protection and wasn't interested in accepting a move to the team currently on a 16-team no-trade list, which drops to 15 after July 1st. So this automatically tells us right now that the Ottawa Senators are going to try and get things done if they want to make this trade happen before the draft. And for the Bruins' sake of things, this is the best time to do it. And I will pull up the trade here now and discuss. This comes from the Everyday Sens on Twitter. This proposal is built off Bruce's recent claims stating that an NHL executive believes the Ottawa Senators would need to offer Jakob Chychrun a first-round pick and another pick to get Linus Ullmark, and the Bruins have been linked to Chychrun in the past. Now, a lot of stuff to take away from this trade. Chychrun, another one, being one of the top defensemen who is going to be available via trade here. A lot of things can happen with him, but a first-round pick, which could be from this year, because the Ottawa Senators have 2 first-round picks, the 7th overall and the 25th. So, we know it's not going to be the 7th overall, because that just seems like too much of an offer for the Ottawa Senators, and I would take it. However, we know the Senators are not going to offer that, but the 25th pick is a very interesting one. The Bruins don't have a first overall pick and could be looking to take that pick and draft a center. And there are some players around there that are drawing a lot of interest and are very intriguing players from what we will see in this upcoming draft and could be ready for the NHL season in years upcoming. But this is also what we have on Linus Ullmark as of right now. The LA Kings, the New Jersey Devils, the Senators, and the Hurricanes are among teams that expressed interest in Ullmark during the season. We know that the Kings and Sens pitched offers before the trade deadline. I've got to think all 4 clubs will reach out this summer if they haven't already. The Oilers and the Red Wings could also join next month as well, depending on what happens in the playoffs for the Oilers, and the Red Wings are looking to get better as well. So we have a lot of stuff here to think about. First of all, Ullmark is probably going to get traded. I think that's a fair assessment to make at this point, thinking that we're going to have to offer a new contract to Jeremy Sweeney, and then we could possibly get a netminder in return somewhere else just for a backup of the season. Brandon Bussi is also an RFA at the moment, so he will have to get re-signed as well, giving him another opportunity to go in the AHL, start another season, get used to his game, and get built back up to an NHL level, to a point where he can back up Jeremy Sweeney when it does become his net. However, we do have an issue with this. The one main problem is that there's the no-trade clause. What I mentioned earlier is that, 16 teams at the moment, 15 coming up after July 1st, and we don't know what teams those are. We can suspect that it was the LA Kings and the Ottawa Senators, were both involved in this because nothing happened at the deadline, and we know that his no-trade clause was initiated at the deadline. So that can be taken into effect. If this trade does not go down, that could be a big reason. There have also been reports that his no-trade clause involves every Canadian team. I cannot confirm nor deny that, but from what we've seen in reports, that is also a potential case for this, which would mean this is completely gone. Now, the Ottawa Senators seem to think that they can make this happen, and looking to re-engage, as this article said, to get a possible star netminder in Linus Ullmark. They're a few steps away from becoming a playoff team, and a netminder would certainly make that happen, so you have to assume that they're going to push hard for Linus Ullmark. But from what we're going to get, Chychrun, a first, and another pick, which I would assume would probably be a 3rd to a 5th round pick, depending on what the teams negotiate on. But Defense, we have some interesting things to go over as well. Jakob Chychrun could absolutely make this lineup here on the defense, or the Boston Bruins could choose to flip him in exchange for more firepower up front. We know the defense right now of Lowry, Lindholm, Wotherspoon, McAvoy, Carlo, and Peak is a pretty solid defensive core. And Lowry and Wotherspoon are two players that really have exceeded expectations this season and are going to look to get more ice time in this upcoming year. So you have to assume that they will stay in this lineup, and really leaves no spot for Chychrun if any of those guys weren't to leave the lineup. You know, they're all likely going to stay. That's what I think, unless they get another big name defenseman, is what it will be close to that going ahead next season. So the opportunity of flipping Jakob Chychrun could be a very big possibility for this Bruins team. But the first overall, or the first round pick would be another fantastic addition to this whole system that the Bruins are running with right now. You can see right here are the 24th to 27th pick. So we can assume that most of these players, I will say, unless someone goes off the board pretty far, will be available at that one. And there's a man there in the 27th overall named Dean Letourneau, who is quite the player, I might add. Center, going to St. Andrews, committed to Boston College, staying in city would be pretty cool, who is 6'7", 209 centerman, who has put up some incredible numbers. As you can see here with St. Andrews College, he put up 127 points in 56 games. Now, those numbers are very, very good, especially for someone who is 6'7", 209. You wouldn't expect to be able to move as well as he does, play the game as well as he does. His offensive production is superior to many other players that are around this area in the draft. And committing to Boston College is also a big thing that the Bruins may want to take into consideration, keeping him home close to development if they do end up getting this 25th overall pick and taking Dean Letourneau. Now, this is also very important that if this does happen, he would not be available next season, would have to play that 1 year at college, and the Bruins may be okay with that, looking to add to their in-house center depth, and this would be the perfect opportunity to do it. You could also then flip Jakob Chychrun for a now ready NHL center, maybe someone like Martin Necas or someone, you know, along the lines of an RFA centerman, pretty young, looking to find a new spot to play. There's many opportunities that the Bruins have with this, getting the picks, getting rid of Ullmark, having another piece to add to the team, or flip for another piece. And I'm telling you right now, I see nothing wrong with this trade. We know Ullmark's not going to be with the Bruins much longer, and the Bruins don't want to let him walk at the end of the season. So you have to assume if he were to get traded in this offseason, it would be before the draft, and if not in the offseason, it would be before the trade deadline. So right now, I'm sure the Bruins are exploring the best possible options, but to me, this seems like the perfect case for the Bruins. And if this trade report does end up becoming true, if this is actually what they're going to have to offer to take Linus Ullmark, there may be a bidding war, but this could be certainly a very interesting offseason if this does continue to pile up. So let me know what you think about this potential trade. We spoke about this in the stream last night, and it was a very interesting one. We had a lot of conversation on it. So like I said, make sure to hit the sub button like at the beginning of the video. You won't miss a stream. You won't miss any of these videos. Get the conversation going because we have a lot of very, very important stuff coming up with this Bruins team. But that's all I got here in this video. If you did enjoy, like I said, hit the sub button. You won't want to miss what we have upcoming. Make sure to give the video a like as well. Pushes it to the algorithm and lets other Bruins fans know that we're also joining the conversation. But that's all I got. I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.